In a distant galaxy, there was a powerful empire known as the Zoreth. The Zoreth were a race of tall, elegant beings with shimmering skin and sharp features. They ruled over many planets and civilizations, believing themselves to be superior to all other life forms. The Empire was always looking for new worlds to conquer and new civilizations to control. Commander. Lyra Voss stood on the bridge of the starship Zephyr. She was a strong leader with a sharp mind. Her long, dark hair flowed behind her as she gazed out at the vastness of space through the ship's windows. The stars twinkled like diamonds against the black canvas of the universe. Lyra had seen many worlds in her time, but she was always eager for new discoveries. Commander. We are approaching the nebula, reported Ethan Carter. The ship's engineer was a young man with a curious mind and a knack for fixing anything that broke. Sensors are picking up unusual readings. Lyra turned her attention to the control panel. The nebula was dense and colorful, swirling with shades of blue and green. It was known to hide many secrets. Prepare for scanning. We need to know what's inside, she ordered. As the ship entered the nebula, the colors danced around them, creating a beautiful but chaotic scene. The crew worked quickly, their fingers flying across the controls. Suddenly, the sensors beeped loudly, drawing everyone's attention. Commander. We have detected a planet, Ethan announced. It seems to be hidden behind the clouds of the nebula. Scanning now. Lyra felt a surge of excitement. Discovering a new planet was always thrilling. What do we know about it? She asked, leaning closer to the screen. The data came in. Slowly. It is a small planet, rich in resources. Life signs detected. They appear to be humanoid, Ethan replied, his eyes wide with amazement. Lyra's heart raced. Humanoid life forms could mean a civilization that might be useful to the Empire. Prepare a landing team. We need to make contact, she commanded. Crew quickly prepped for the mission. Lyra selected her best team members. Ethan, who could handle any technical issues. Maya Rivera, a talented linguist who loved learning about different cultures. And Corin, a skilled soldier. Together, they would explore this new world. As they descended through the clouds, the surface of the planet came into view. It was lush and green, filled with forests and rivers. The ship landed softly on a clearing surrounded by tall trees. The crew stepped out, taking in the fresh air. It smelled sweet and rich, unlike anything they had experienced before. Lyra led the team as they moved cautiously through the forest. The sunlight filtered through the leaves, creating patterns on the ground. Birds chirped in the trees and small. Animals scurried away as they approached. It felt alive and vibrant. Suddenly they heard voices. Lyra signaled for the team to stop. They crept closer to the source of the sound and peeked through the bushes. What they saw amazed them. A group of humans was gathered in a clearing. They were celebrating something, dressed in colorful clothing and laughing together. Lyra's eyes widened in surprise. These humans seemed to be thriving, living in harmony with their surroundings. They were not primitive as the Empire usually. Encounter, Maya whispered. They look so happy. This is incredible. Lyra nodded, her mind racing with possibilities. We need to make contact carefully. We don't want to scare them. The team moved forward, keeping quiet. As they approached, the humans noticed them. The laughter faded, and the group turned to face the newcomers. The humans looked surprised but not afraid.
Ow.
She had long hair and a warm smile, which seemed inviting. Hello, she called out, her voice clear and confident. Welcome to our home. Lyra exchanged glances with her team. This was a good sign. We come in peace, Lyra said, stepping forward. I am Commander Lyra Voss of the Zoreth Empire. We mean you no harm. The woman studied Lyra. For a moment, I'm Clara Jensen, the leader of this community. What brings you to our planet? Lyra felt a wave of relief. We discovered your planet while exploring the nebula. We're here to learn about you and your ways. Clara's expression softened. We appreciate your honesty. Many outsiders have come before, seeking to take from us. But we are strong, and will not be easily swayed. Ethan, who had been listening intently, stepped forward. We are not like them. We want to share knowledge, not take it. Clara raised an eyebrow, intrigued. Knowledge is valuable. What do you have to offer? Maya chimed in. We can teach you about our technology, medicine, and even the stars beyond this planet. The humans exchanged glances, considering the offer. Clara nodded slowly. Very well, we'll show you our ways, and in return, you. We'll share yours. But know this, trust is earned, not given.
Right.
Lyra felt a sense of hope. This could be the beginning of a great alliance, we understand. We will do our best to earn your trust. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, the humans invited the team to join their celebrations. Shared food and stories, laughter filling the air. Lyra felt a warmth she had not experienced before. It was a feeling of connection, of community. That night, as they sat around a fire, Lyra realized that this hidden civilization might be more than just a discovery. It could be a partnership that would change everything. But in the back of her mind, she knew that the Empire would not easily accept this. The Zorath were known for their desire to control. Lyra wondered how she could protect these humans from the Empire's greed. As the stars twinkled overhead, Lyra made a silent promise to herself. Yes. She would do everything in her power to ensure that this new alliance would thrive. Little did she know that the challenges ahead would test not only her resolve, but also the very foundation of the Zoroth Empire itself. The sun rose over the hidden planet, casting golden light across the green landscape. Lyra woke early, her mind buzzing with thoughts about the humans and their civilization. She stepped outside the small shelter where her team had spent the night. The air was fresh and cool, filled with the sounds of birds singing. Ethan was already working on the ship, checking the systems to ensure everything was ready for the day. Maya was sitting on a log, writing notes about the things she had observed the day before. Lyra joined them, feeling a sense of purpose. Good morning, she said, stretching her arms. What's the plan for today? Maya looked up with a smile. Clara invited us to see their village. She wants to show us how they live and work together. That sounds great, Lyra replied, her excitement growing. Let's get ready and head out. After a quick breakfast, the team set out with Clara leading the way. The path to the village wound through the forest, with tall trees reaching toward the sky. The sunlight filtered through the leaves, creating a beautiful pattern on the ground. As they walked, Clara pointed out different plants and animals. This is a healing herb, she explained, picking a small green leaf. We use it to treat wounds and sickness. Nature gives us everything we need. Lyra listened carefully, impressed by Clara's knowledge. Seemed to understand your environment very well. That is important for survival. Clara nodded. We respect the land. We take only what we need and give back when we can. It is our way. When they reached the village, Lyra was amazed. The homes were built from wood and stone, blending perfectly with nature. Colorful flags hung between the trees and laughter filled the air as children played in the open spaces. Welcome to Greenvale, Clara announced proudly. This is our home. The villagers gathered to greet the newcomers. They looked curious but friendly. Lyra felt a sense of warmth as she met their eyes. The humans were kind, and she could see their strength. Clara introduced Lyra and her team to the villagers. These are friends from the stars. They want to learn about us and share their knowledge. The villagers were eager to hear what Lyra and her team had to say. Lyra felt a rush of excitement. She wanted to show them that they could be allies. Thank you for welcoming us, Lyra began. We come from a distant place. We wish to learn from you and share what we know. One of the villagers, a man named Jacob, stepped forward. What can you teach us? We have our ways, and they work for us. Lyra smiled. We can share knowledge about technology, medicine, and even the stars. We can help you improve your tools and learn new ways to grow food. Jacob looked thoughtful. We are happy with our lives here. We do not want to lose what makes us who we are, I interjected. We understand. We are not here to change you. We want to help you grow even stronger. The villagers listened. Intently, Lyra could see their interest growing. She felt hopeful that they could build a bridge between their two worlds. As the day went on, the villagers showed Lyra and her team around. They visited the fields where crops were grown and the workshops where tools were made. Lyra was impressed by the human skills. They had created a thriving community without the advanced technology of the Empire. In the afternoon, Clara gathered everyone for a meeting. Let us discuss how we can work together. We want to learn from our new friends, but we also want to protect our way of life. Lyra nodded in agreement. We respect your traditions. Our goal is to create a partnership that benefits us both. A woman named Emily spoke up. What if your empire decides to take over? We have seen this happen before. Lyra felt a knot in her stomach. She understood their fear. I promise you, I will do everything I can to prevent that. What we can achieve together. The villagers exchanged glances, and Lyra could see they were still uncertain. She knew it would take time to earn their trust. As the sun began to set, they gathered around a fire. The villagers shared stories of their history, their struggles, and their triumphs. Lyra listened closely, feeling a deep connection to them. They were not so different from her own people, despite the distance between their worlds. That night, Lyra lay awake, staring at the stars. She thought about the Empire and what they would think of this new alliance. Would they see the humans as a threat? Would they try to conquer them? The thought troubled her. Early the next morning, Lyra woke with a plan. She would speak to her superiors about the humans, not as subjects to conquer, but as allies to support. She believed in their potential and wanted to protect them from the Empire's greed. As the day progressed, Lyra and her team continued to learn from the villagers. They shared stories of their own experiences in the stars, and the humans responded. With enthusiasm, Clara began to trust Lyra, and their bond grew stronger. One afternoon, while working in the fields, Lyra noticed Clara watching her. You are strong, Clara said. You work hard alongside us. Lyra smiled. I believe in teamwork, can accomplish more together. Clara nodded. You understand our values. That is important. Lyra felt more at home. In Greenvale, the villagers accepted her and her team as part of their community. They worked together to build better tools and improve farming methods. Lyra saw their lives becoming even better, but in the back of her mind, she could not shake the feeling that danger was approaching. The Empire was powerful, and they would want to expand their control. Lyra knew she needed to act quickly. One evening, Lyra gathered her team and Clara. I need to return to the ship to send a message to the Empire. I want to tell them about our work here and ask for support, not domination. Clara looked concerned. What if they do not listen? What if they come to take us? I will do my best to protect you, Lyra assured her. But I need your help to convince them that we are allies, not enemies. The humans agreed to help. They would prepare to show the Empire the strength of their community, hoping to win their support. As Lyra prepared to leave, she felt a mix of fear and hope. This alliance had the potential to change everything, but the challenges ahead would be great. She was determined to protect the humans and ensure their way of life continued, with a final look at her new friends. Lyra boarded the ship, her heart heavy but filled with purpose. The journey ahead would be difficult, but she was ready to fight for what she believed in. Lyra sat in the control room of the starship Zephyr, staring at the blinking lights on the control panel. The ship was quiet, except for the soft hum of the engines. She had sent her message to the Zoroth Empire, explaining everything she had learned about the hidden human civilization. Now, all she could do was wait for a response. Ethan was working nearby, checking the ship's systems. How long do you think it will take for them to reply? He asked, breaking the silence. Lyra sighed. I don't know. The Empire does not always act quickly. They may not understand the importance of what we found here. Maya entered the room, holding a data pad. I've been looking at the information we gathered from the humans. They have some amazing technologies. They could really benefit from our help. Lyra nodded. That is true, but we must be careful. The Empire sees them as a threat. They might decide to take control instead of helping. Just then, the ship's communication system beeped. Lyra's heart raced as she activated it. Voice came through, cold and authoritative. Commander Voss, this is Admiral Creel. We have received your message. Lyra straightened, trying to keep her voice steady. Admiral, thank you for your prompt response. I believe we have found a valuable ally in the humans of Greenvale. Ally, Creel replied sharply. You mean to say you wish to protect these primitives? They are not worthy of our attention. We need resources, not connections. Lyra felt a wave of frustration. Admiral, they are not primitive, active. They have advanced knowledge of agriculture and medicine. We could learn from them and work together. Act, Creels. The voice was firm. You have two options, Commander. You can continue your exploration and report back to us, or you can bring these humans to the Empire for evaluation. I suggest you choose wisely. The communication ended abruptly, leaving Lyra feeling uneasy. She turned to Ethan and Maya. They don't understand. They see the humans only as resources, not partners. Ethan frowned. What will we do now? We can't let the Empire take them. Lyra took a deep breath. We have to go back to Greenvale and warn Clara. We cannot let them come here without a plan. They quickly prepared the ship for takeoff. As they flew back through the nebula, Lyra's mind raced with thoughts. She knew she had to protect the humans. If the Empire decided to invade, it could mean disaster for Greenvale. When they landed, the villagers greeted them with curiosity. Clara approached, her expression serious. What news do you bring, Commander? Lyra stepped forward. We must talk. The Empire has responded to our message. They do not see you as allies. They want to evaluate your civilization and take control. Clara's eyes widened with fear. What does this mean for us? It means we have to prepare, Lyra replied. I want to help you defend your home. We need to show the Empire that you are strong and capable. If we can prove that you are not a threat, they may reconsider their approach. The villagers gathered around, listening closely. Jacob stepped forward. How can we prove ourselves? You're not warriors. Lyra smiled gently. You do not need to be warriors. Show them your knowledge. Demonstrate how you live in harmony with the land. Your strength is in your community. In your way of life, the villagers nodded, understanding what Lyra meant. They began to discuss how they could showcase their skills. Clara took charge, organizing a demonstration of their farming techniques, healing methods, and community practices. The next few days were filled with hard work. Lyra and her team helped the villagers prepare for the upcoming visit from the Empire's representatives. They built a stage in the center of the village and set up areas for different wars. Demonstrations. Ethan worked with the villagers to improve their tools, making them more efficient. Maya helped Clara gather herbs and prepare remedies to show their knowledge of medicine. Lyra felt a sense of pride watching the villagers come together, their determination shining through. Finally, the day of the demonstration arrived. The villagers were nervous but excited. Lyra stood with Clara at the front of the village, ready to welcome the Empire's representatives. She had no idea how they would respond, but she hoped for the best. As the sun rose, the sound of a ship echoed in the sky. The Zephyr flew in, landing gracefully in the clearing. Lyra took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. The crew stepped out, followed by a group of Zoroth officials led by Admiral Creel. The villagers watched with apprehension as Creel approached. He looked around, his expression cold and calculating. Show me what you have, he ordered. Clara stepped forward, her voice steady. Welcome, Admiral. We are proud to share our way of life with you. We believe in living in harmony with nature, and we want to show you how we do this. The villagers began their demonstration. They showcased their farming techniques, explaining how they used natural methods to grow food. Lyra was impressed by how well Clara spoke to the Zoroth officials, confidently explaining their practices. Next, Maya presented their healing methods. She demonstrated how they used plants to create remedies, treating common illnesses. The officials watched closely, some taking notes, but Creel remained unimpressed. Enough of this, he said, cutting Maya off. Show me something more impressive. This is all very primitive. Lyra felt anger rising inside her. Admiral, these practices are not primitive. They show the strength of their community and their connection to the land. This is knowledge that can benefit us all. Creel raised an eyebrow. unconvinced. What if I told you that the Empire has no interest in such things? We need resources, not friendships. Clara stepped forward again, her voice calm but firm. We can offer you knowledge that will help your empire grow stronger. We can teach you how to cultivate the land without destroying it. There's value in what we do. The villagers stood behind Clara, their unity shining through. Lyra could see their determination. They were willing to fight for their way of life. Creel crossed his arms, still skeptical. I will consider what I have seen today, but know this. If you cannot provide what we need, the Empire will take what it wants. Lyra's heart sank. She knew the Empire's greed could lead to disaster. As the representatives prepared to leave, she turned to Clara. We must stay vigilant. This is not over. The villagers nodded, understanding the danger they faced. They had shown the Empire their strength, but now they had to protect their home. Lyra felt a deep bond with these people. They were not just allies. They were friends. As the sun set over Greenvale, Lyra knew that their fight for survival had just begun. She would do everything in her power to protect the humans and ensure their way of life continued. The alliance they had built was worth fighting for, and she was determined not to let it fall apart. The days following the Empire's visit were tense in Greenvale. Lyra felt the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. She had promised to protect the humans, but now the threat from the Zorath Empire felt very real. Clara and the villagers worked hard to prepare for whatever might come next. One morning, Lyra gathered the villagers in the central square. We need to talk about what we will do if the Empire comes here again, she said. We must be ready. To defend your home, Clara nodded. We have no weapons and no experience in battle. How can we defend ourselves? Ethan stepped forward. We may not need weapons. We can use the land to our advantage. The forest can be a shield, and we can create traps to slow them down. Jacob, who had been listening closely, added, We know this land better than they do. We can use our knowledge of the terrain to protect ourselves. Lyra felt a spark of hope. Exactly. We'll create a plan that uses your strengths. We will work together to protect Greenvale. The villagers agreed, and they began to make preparations. They set up watch points around the village to keep an eye on the skies. Ethan led a group to create simple traps using ropes and fallen branches. Maya helped Clara gather herbs for healing remedies, knowing they might need them soon. As the days passed, Lyra felt the tension in the air. The villagers were nervous, but determined. They trained each day, practicing how to use the traps and working together as a team. Lyra watched as they grew stronger and more confident. One afternoon, while they were practicing, a villager named Thomas ran into the clearing, breathless. They are coming. I saw a ship in the sky. Panic spread through the crowd. Lyra quickly raised her hand. Everyone, stay calm. We've prepared for this. We need to stick to the plan. Clara took charge. Everyone to your positions. Remember what we practiced. We'll protect our home. The villagers moved quickly, hiding in the trees and taking their places at the watch points. Lyra stood with Clara, watching the sky. The ship grew larger as it descended, its dark silhouette blocking the sun. As it landed, Lyra's heart raced. She recognized the ship as one of the Empire's smaller vessels. A ramp lowered, and a group of Zorath soldiers stepped out. Led by Admiral Creel, he looked around, his expression one of arrogance. Commander Voss. I see you have not heeded my warning, he shouted, his voice echoing in the clearing. Have chosen to defy the Empire. Lyra stepped forward, trying to remain calm. Admiral, we do not wish to defy anyone. We just want to protect our home and our way of life, Creel sneered. Your way of life is irrelevant. The Empire needs this land and its resources. You will either submit or face the consequences. Villagers watched from their hiding places, fear in their eyes. Lyra could feel their anxiety. She had to stand strong. Admiral, we have shown you our worth. We have much to offer the Empire in knowledge and cooperation. Taking this land by force will only lead to destruction, she argued. Creel laughed, a cold sound. You think your words can change my mind? I will give you one last chance. Surrender now, and I will allow you to keep your lives." Lyra shook her head. "We will not surrender. We will fight to protect our home." Creel's expression darkened. "Very well. I have chosen your fate." With a wave of his hand, the soldiers moved forward, weapons ready. Lyra felt a rush of adrenaline. She turned to Clara. "Now is the time. Activate the traps." The villagers sprang into action. They pulled ropes hidden in the underbrush, triggering the traps they had set up. Branches fell and created barriers. Slowing the soldiers down as they advanced, Lyra shouted, "Keep them back. Use the forest to your advantage." As the soldiers stumbled, the villagers worked together, throwing stones and using anything they could find to defend themselves. Maya ran to help the injured, applying herbs and remedies to soothe their wounds. Lyra fought alongside the villagers, feeling their strength. They moved as one, working together to protect their home. The soldiers were caught off guard by the villagers' determination and resourcefulness. Creel shouted orders, trying to regain control. "Push forward. Do not let them stand in your way." But the villagers were ready. They used their knowledge of the land to create obstacles, guiding the soldiers into traps and slowing their advance. Lyra felt a surge of pride as she watched the humans fighting for their home. The battle raged on, and the forest echoed with the sounds of conflict. Lyra could see that some of the soldiers were beginning to falter. They were not prepared for this kind of resistance as the fight continued. Lyra noticed Creel pushing through the chaos, trying to reach the heart of the village. She knew she had to confront him. With determination, she moved through the trees, dodging fallen branches and debris. Finally, she found Creel, who was struggling to maintain his authority. "You think you can win against the Empire?" he shouted at Lyra. "You are nothing." Lyra met his gaze, refusing to back down. "We are more than you think. We will not be intimidated. We fight for our home and we will protect it," Creel sneered. "You will regret this." Just then, a loud crash echoed through the clearing. A group of villagers had knocked over a large tree, blocking the path of Creel's soldiers. The Zoroth were now struggling to regroup, and Lyra saw a chance. "Now is our moment," she shouted to the villagers. "Push them back," with renewed energy. The villagers surged forward, using their strength and determination to drive the soldiers away. Lyra felt a wave of hope wash over her as she fought alongside them. They were united, and together they were strong. As the battle wore on, Creel realized he was losing control. The village was fighting back with everything they had. He turned to flee, but Lyra was quick to follow. "Admiral," she called, her voice firm. "You will not escape so easily." Creel turned, his face a mask of anger. "You will pay for this, Commander. The Empire will not forget your defiance." Lyra stood her ground. "We will not be afraid. We will continue to fight for our home, no matter the cost." With that, Creel retreated, signaling his soldiers to fall back. The Zoroth, beaten and disorganized, scrambled back to their ship. Lyra and the villagers watched as the ship lifted off, disappearing into the sky. Cheers erupted around Lyra as the villagers celebrated their victory. They had stood together against a powerful force and had won. Lyra felt a deep sense of pride. In what they had accomplished, Clara approached Lyra, a smile on her face. "You did it. We fought for our home and protected it." Lyra nodded, feeling the weight of what they had achieved. "We did it together. This alliance is strong, and we will continue to protect each other." As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, Lyra realized that they had overcome a great challenge. But she also knew that the Empire would not give up easily. They would have to remain vigilant and prepare for whatever came next. The villagers gathered around Lyra and Clara, their faces filled with hope and determination. They had proven that they could stand against the Empire, and together they would face whatever challenges lay ahead. Lyra felt a sense of belonging in this community. They were more than allies. They were family. She knew that with their strength and unity, they could overcome any obstacle. The fight for their home was just beginning, but they were ready to face it together. In the days following the battle, Greenvale was alive with a renewed sense of hope. The villagers had defended their home against the Empire, and the victory filled them with pride. Lyra felt grateful to be part of this brave community. However, she knew that the threat from the Zorith Empire was far from over. Lyra gathered the villagers in the central square once again. Clara stood beside her, ready to address the crowd. "We have shown that we can protect our home. We fought bravely and kept the Empire at bay," she began, her voice strong. "But we must stay prepared. They will not give up easily." The villagers nodded, their expressions serious. Lyra spoke next. "We need to strengthen our defenses and continue to show the Empire who we are. We are not just primitives. We are a thriving community with much to offer." Jacob raised his hand. "What if they come back with more soldiers? We cannot fight them all alone." "That's why we need to send a message to the Empire," Lyra replied. "We need to show them that we are united and willing to work together. We can offer knowledge and resources, but we must be clear that we will not accept domination." The villagers discussed ideas, and together they decided to send a delegation to the Empire. Clara, Jacob, and Maya volunteered to represent Greenvale. Lyra felt proud of their courage. "I will go with you," she said. "I want to ensure our message is heard." The next day, they prepared for the journey. The villagers gathered supplies, including food and herbs, to present to the Empire. They packed their belongings and set out toward the Empire's capital, a grand city known as Zorith Prime. As they traveled, Lyra marveled at the beauty of the landscape. The rolling hills and lush forests were a stark contrast to the cold, metallic, a city they were heading to. She wondered how the Empire could ignore the beauty of nature in their quest for power. When they arrived at Zorith Prime, they were struck by its size. Tall buildings stretched toward the sky, and the streets buzzed with activity. Lyra felt a mix of excitement and fear. This was the heart of the Empire. They were about to enter it as representatives of Greenvale. They approached the Grand Palace, where the Emperor and his council held meetings. Lyra took a deep breath and stepped forward. "We are here to speak with the Emperor," she announced, her voice steady. The guards eyed them suspiciously but allowed them to enter. Inside, the palace was even more impressive. The walls were adorned with gold and intricate designs. Lyra felt small and overwhelmed in such a grand space. They were led to a large chamber where the Emperor sat on a throne, surrounded by his advisors. He was a tall figure with sharp features and a commanding presence. "What brings you here, outsiders?" he asked, his voice deep and powerful. Lyra stepped forward. "Your Majesty, I am Commander Lyra Voss, and these are my friends from Greenvale. We come to speak of an alliance, not war." The Emperor raised an eyebrow. "An alliance? You think you can bargain with the Empire?" Clara spoke up, her voice filled with determination. "We are not here to bargain. We are here to offer our knowledge and resources. We can help each other grow stronger." The Emperor leaned back in his throne, considering their words. "And why should I trust you? You have already defied my orders once." Jacob took a step forward, unafraid. "We fought to protect our home. We did not want to fight, but we will not be pushed around. We believe there is more to gain from cooperation than from conflict." The Emperor's eyes narrowed. "You think your words can win my favor? What proof do you have of your worth?" Maya stepped forward, holding a small pouch of herbs. "We have knowledge of healing methods that can benefit your people. Our community thrives on cooperation and respect for nature. We can teach you how to work with the land, not against it." The Emperor looked intrigued, but his expression remained skeptical. "I need more than just words. Show me what you can do." Lyra felt a surge of determination. "We can arrange a demonstration. We will show you our farming techniques and healing methods. You will see that we are worth your attention." The Emperor considered this. "Very well, I will allow you to demonstrate your skills. But be warned, if you fail to impress me, there will be consequences." Lyra and her companions agreed, relieved to have a chance to prove themselves. They returned to Greenvale to prepare for the demonstration. The villagers worked hard, gathering the best crops and preparing remedies to showcase their knowledge. When the day of the demonstration arrived, Lyra felt a mix of excitement and nerves. The Emperor and his council arrived, ready to see what Greenvale had to offer. The villagers gathered in the central square, their faces filled with hope. Lyra stood at the front, ready to lead the demonstration. Welcome to Greenvale.
Today,
We will show you our way of life, our farming techniques, and our healing methods. The villagers began to demonstrate their skills. Clara showed how they cultivated crops using natural methods, explaining the importance of soil health and crop rotation. The emperor watched closely, his expression unreadable. Next, Maya demonstrated their healing remedies. She carefully explained how they used herbs to treat various ailments, mixing a few ingredients to create a soothing balm. The council members looked intrigued, whispering among themselves. As the demonstration continued, Lyra could see the emperor's interest growing. He leaned forward, asking questions and engaging with the villagers. They answered with confidence, sharing their knowledge and passion for their community. After the demonstration, Lyra felt a sense of accomplishment. They had shown the emperor what they could do, and she hoped it had made an impact. The emperor stood, his expression thoughtful. "I must admit I did not expect such knowledge from your people," he said slowly. "Perhaps there is value in this alliance you propose." Lyra's heart raced. "We believe that together we can create a stronger future. We can learn from each other and protect our ways of life." The emperor nodded, considering their words. "I will allow you to continue your way of life in Greenvale, but understand that the Empire will be watching. We will monitor your progress. And if you prove to be valuable allies, I may consider further cooperation." Lyra felt a wave of relief wash over her. They had made a breakthrough. "Thank you, Your Majesty. We will work hard to earn your trust." As they left the palace, Lyra and her companions felt a sense of pride in what they had achieved. They had stood up for their home and made a case for their people. The future was still uncertain, but they had taken a significant step toward a brighter tomorrow. Back in Greenvale, the villagers welcomed them with cheers. They had brought back hope and a promise of partnership. Lyra knew that their fight was not over, but they had proven that they could stand strong together in the days that followed. Lyra and the villagers continued to work hard, sharing their knowledge and learning from one another. The alliance with the Empire was still fragile, but it was a start. They would remain vigilant, ready to protect their home and their way of life. Lyra looked around at the vibrant community, feeling grateful for the friendships they had built. They had faced great challenges and had emerged stronger. Together, they would face whatever the future held, united in their mission to protect Greenvale. As the sun set over the horizon, Lyra felt a sense of peace. They had fought for their survival, and now they had the chance to thrive. With determination in their hearts and strength in their unity, they were ready to take on whatever came next.